Hi, it's Jan Howell, and in today's sewing and crafting tutorial I'm going to show you how easy and fun it is to make these fabric carrots. You can make them from upcycled orange sweaters, felt, fleece, and even knit fabric. So let's go over a few items and things that you'll need. You will need either a stretchy piece of orange knit. This is a cute stripe that I'm going to use. And this is a piece of fleece, an orange piece of fleece. And this is an upcycled orange sweater. If you are going to use an upcycled sweater, you want to make sure that it's not a real thick one and that it has some stretch to it. This happens to be a orange cashmere sweater that I'm going to use. The pattern, downloaded, printed, and cut out, and I'll have the links in the description. A pair of fabric scissors, 2 different colors of green felt, some craft polyester stuffing, straight pins, needle and thread, some floral stems. These are wire floral stems and they're green. And depending on which type of leaf you're going to make, if you're going to make these cute stems, you'll need some green yarn and 1/2-inch strips of fleece that we'll be wrapping around the wire, and a sewing machine. You can also really make them without the sewing machine. There's very little sewing, so that you can do that by hand if you needed to. So to cut out the carrots, let's cut one out of this. This is just an upcycled t-shirt, a cute orange stripe. I'm going to fold it so that we place the pattern piece along where it's indicated right here. Place that on the fold and pin it in place. And cut it out. Let's cut one out of this sweater fabric. I'm going to make this guy a little shorter. Fold the right sides together. You can decide which side of the fabric you want to be the right side, and we're going to, with a 1/4-inch seam, or even smaller if you want to, start at the edge, sew down the raw edge, angle just down to where you come to a point, and back stitch. We'll do that for both pieces. I'm just going to clip off the excess at the end of the carrot there on both of these. And turn it inside out. Take your stuffing and just fill it up using your fingers and your stick to get it down to the bottom. Sometimes an eraser a pencil with an eraser will grab onto the stuffing a little bit better. fill it till it's about like that. And it's okay if it's a little lumpy because we're going to try to make some of those contours and lumps anyway. I want it to be pretty firm, so just keep packing it in there until it's completely full. Let's set the carrots aside for a minute and get our leaves ready. Take the 2 layers and stack them on top of each other. Take the wire and just place it right down the middle. And we're going to take it to the sewing machine and zigzag from the end all the way, a pretty close zigzag stitch all the way to the end. So now I have green thread in my sewing machine and bobbin. So the stitch width is going to be 3.5, and I'm going to take it to about a 2 in length. And back stitch. So that's what it'll look like. And for this other leaf, I'm just going to freestyle stems. So we'll put the wire on after, but right now I'm just going to be sewing these 2 layers together with a straight stitch. So I'm going to assume that this is the bottom of the leaf, and I'm going to make just like little tree branches out to the side, just freestyle. I'm just going to go up to the tip, back stitch, and then start up the stem a little ways and stitch off. And the other side. So there's really no wrong or right way to do this. I guess if you really wanted to, you could draw the lines on there first. What it'll look like on that side, and then I'll go ahead and clip all my threads. So you can decide which, if you want the lighter green on the back and the darker green on the stem, which color do you want to cut off. So what we're going to do now is just cut off along the stitching. We're just going to trim around the stitching, and then we'll add the wire in just a second. So this first round of cutting, remember, we're just going to cut along the edge of your stitching, making a little stem. This is a really fun way to do leaves. All right, so there we have just the outline. Now I'm going to just freestyle cut around those little stems. You can kind of get creative and just do some interesting cuts if you want, whatever. Again, I guess if you really wanted to be more specific, and you could trace those out with a pencil. So you can sit and play with that till you get it how you like it. And to give it some more structure, take your wire, and I have cut that long one in half, And I'm just going to put it down the center vein of the leaf and zigzag over it. Make sure you've changed your stitch back to a zigzag stitch. And then you can bend it or twist it however you want, just to give it some character. What a fun way to make some cute leaves. You can do all of them like that, or mix it up with this kind of leaf. So now to finish off this feathered leaf, I'll show you what we're going to do. So depending what you want your leaf to look like, you can have this stem going down, a different color stem going down the back. If you want that, cut along the edge of either color to make that stem, or you can just make both of them two-colored feathery, which I think I might do on this one. So I'm just going to make little fine cuts. So I'm cutting both of them at the same time. And I'm going to round off those corners. Just kind of fluff them up. So there's lots of different ways you can make these leaves. Different character, different texture, just kind of be creative. Now let's get ready to sew it and bring it all together. I usually like to have 2 or 3 leaves or stems in each carrot. So take your needle and get a longer needle is better than shorter, because we're going to be stitching through the carrot. Double up your thread. Give yourself some length. Knot the end of your thread. And the first thing we're going to do is sew the top together. So come down about 1/4 inch, and from the back side, stick your needle out so the knot is on the inside. And just take little stitches up and down all the way around the top of the carrot, about 1/4 inch from the top. And overlap the stitches by a few stitches, and stick your thumb down in there to push the stuffing down. You might need just a little bit more, and if you do, go ahead, and we want the seam allowance to be tucked down inside. I'm just going to push my thumb there while I'm pulling. So before I knot that and make it any tighter, I'm going to put my stems in. And work them down in there. Use your pointer stick to keep those ends in. And pull it. And just to make that stay, I'm going to keep gathering around and pulling. After a few times around, it will kind of just stay in place, and then when you get it like you want it, you can knot it. I'm just going to take another little stitch, wrap my needle around, leave a loop, and wrap my needle around it a couple times, and gently pull to knot it, and then I'll stick it right down by the knot into the carrot and then out. So to make the cute lines and the contour, give it a little bit more character, you can do a little soft sculpturing here. I'm going to bring it down to where I want it to, those little lines to be. And I'm going to wrap it. You can wrap it all the way around if you want. This one shows it a little bit better. I've used kind of a brown thread. You can see how I'm just trying to make these little lines like carrots have on them. So I'm going to wrap it around and stick it in here. And then bring it down a little bit somewhere else, poke it out somewhere else, how far down you want to go. I'm going to pull that, and you can see how that makes that a cute little indentation. And then I'll do another one. You don't want them to be all the same place, just kind of randomly, like a carrot would be. And make them kind of random distances apart from each other. So you can see how that kind of makes some fun contours. And make a knot and make another knot. Wrap it around and then stick it back in. Pull it out and cut your thread. So now to make these cute little yarn and wire stems, I am going to take my yarn, my strips of fleece, poke the wire at the end of the fleece and wrap it over the top, and I'm just going to start wrapping it around. And it will stretch, and that's what we want. We're going to stretch it and wrap. You can kind of even just roll it. We're just covering, roll it, covering up the stem with that fleece. You get to the end, just wrap it over a little bit and cut it off. Take the yarn now and just leave us a little tail down the end and then just start wrapping it around. Now you can see how you can do it really close together, or if I want a little bit of that fleece, the lighter color of fleece to show, just to show some character, I'm giving them some spaces between the wrap. So it's all up to the look you want. Kind of gives it a stripe look, which is really quite cute, I think. You can start to roll it. That'll hold the fleece in place. Just cut off your yarn. This part will be tucked into your carrot, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. I'm going to wrap it around, make a loop, tuck it under. And pull it a few times. I'll do that twice. And there you have a cute little stem. You can bend it and twist it. I'm going to make like 2 or 3 of those and then stick them in my carrot, sew it up the same way. Another fun thing to do is apply a magnet to the back of a carrot and stick it to your fridge. Really cute in your kitchen. Add a little name tag for a single gift or a place setting idea for a fun luncheon, an Easter luncheon or dinner. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you're subscribing to my channel and so that you don't miss out on any other fun crafting and sewing tutorials. We'll see you in the next class.